Welcome back, everyone, to the third episode of the Game Share podcast. For this episode, we are going to discuss the most memorable video game deaths. So, I'm your host. I'm Kyle.
I'm Chetty.
I'm Sami.
Your boy E-Man's here.
Oh,
And Gogo, he's not available today.
He had to go,
he's too
fam.
busy. Yeah, Gogo had to go.
He had to go, bro.
So you heard him on the last episode. If you listen, we got our sixth man over here.
Special guest.
Hey guys, this is
Special
the Savage
guest.
Life coming at you. What is up?
All right, what's good? Thanks for joining us again.
No worries.
You know, you're like Lou Will, man.
I'll take that. Honestly, I'll fucking take that. Yeah.
You're the sixth man we need and deserve.
Right? Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna be discussing video. There are a lot of video game deaths, but
Oh, yeah.
we gotta talk about the most memorable ones. So, for you, what I gotta ask you guys first. For you, what makes a video game death memorable?
Me remembering it.
That's
Fuck.
No, I'll be honest. I haven't
Fucking
played a
smart-ass.
whole lot of campaigns, right? Like I've played probably and finished probably a total of 4 or 5 campaign games, or games with a story mode. Not a whole lot, because either I don't finish them or I only play games of multiplayer. And out of like that bunch, there's only one that I can actually or one game that I can actually remember stuff from to this date. So yeah, that's
this
it for me.
date.
To this date, if it's something so impactful that it's like, oh shoot, that happened, and like I know that happened like a year later, 2 years later. Like when you ask me about the story of the game, I know that happened. You know.
All right. Okay, that's a good answer. Yeah, for me, I agree with you. I think for me though, I would say if I really connect with the character who died, or if I really start to really feel for them, then I start getting emotional about it. That's what makes a character's death very memorable to me in a video game, or just in anything really.
Yeah, so for me, it's like, doesn't necessarily have to be with someone I connect with or anything. Just anyone who's relevant to the story. Just any character, even not necessarily side characters, because they're not really given that much story to connect with, I would say. But just anyone that's related to the story, like more of a role than a side character. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, go.
immense.
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah, you, this dude.
All right, what was the question?
Bruh.
Ask me
Dude.
again. I know the question, but ask me
Oh
again.
my god.
Ask me again.
What makes a character's death memorable to you?
So, like Chetty said, you gotta remember it. That's one. I'm struggling to remember some of these, but it depends how, like, I need a connection with the character, like, somewhat. If it's connected to the main character, and that's the reason why he's changed, then that's a memorable death to me. Like, if your family dies. Like, when the main character's family dies, that's memorable to me. And others are like, if they were shocking, if it was, like, unexpected, those are memorable to me as well. So if it was shocking, or if I had a connection with someone had a connection with the characters who died, then that's memorable.
Yeah. I guess I would have to say the same. Pretty much everybody got the same topic. It has to be memorable. It has to be shocking. You have to have a connection with the character, and that's pretty much all you could really talk about when it comes to a character's death, really, right? For you to remember it, yeah.
All right. That's good. All right, I just want to go over that real quick. So, I just want to start off, with one that was memorable to me, and I also kind of forgot to mention another thing that makes the characters, makes the character's death memorable in gaming. It can also be satisfying, and I don't think there's any death that is more satisfying than Zeus in God of War 3.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying
Yeah.
to kill
Okay, yeah.
and you finally do it in the third one.
Yes, that is probably the most memorable God of War death, I would
I
say.
was thinking about it too, and I wanted to add it to my own list, but
You know what pissed me off of
Yeah.
that? I think it's in the second God of War where you were about to kill Zeus with the Blade of Olympus, but then Athena jumps in front. So
Yeah,
that's also a memorable death. That Athena jumped in front of Zeus to take the blade, and she ended up dying for that. I don't know, don't quote me on this, but it might be the second game.
it is the second game.
But doesn't that make the Zeus death even more satisfying?
exactly.
I just think that aside from that, the Zeus death is satisfying because he's a fucking asshole
Do you
in the game.
guys remember how you beat him?
Yes,
Like punch him in the face like
bro,
a
you punch him
Yeah.
so many times, the screen is just red. That's all you're seeing.
Yeah.
You don't even see his face anymore.
But you can't even lie. Every single one of those punches were satisfying.
Yes. You feel the impact in those
Yeah.
punches. When he looks at his blades and he's like chucking them to the side, like, man, I don't need this shit. I'm a
Yeah.
he's like, these hands are ready to eat for everyone, nigga. Let's get it.
That was a good
That's
one.
an E for everyone, bro. Don't kill me.
Like everyone remembers that from the God of War series.
Yeah.
That is the top moment.
And in that, that's like part of the game. You can just keep spamming. I think it's circle, and you'll keep bashing him, and like you'll keep punching him.
Yep.
You have to let go of it in order for it to prompt a cutscene.
And
So
even-
like, I didn't understand. Like when I was younger and I was playing that game, I did it for a good 10 minutes. Like I
Yeah.
was punching him in the face. 10 minutes. I thought sooner or later the cutscene was gonna happen, but no, you have to let go of circle, then the cutscene will happen.
Man was
And my
beating
mom
in
came in
Zeus's
the
face.
screen. My mom came in the thing. She's like, "What are you doing, bro?" I think I got beat that day.
even the creators knew, like, we gotta keep this going. Like, people want this. Like, and the thing is, the first game, it was all about killing Ares. Nobody remembers killing Ares.
Nah. I played the first one. I'd have to disagree on that one. That game was a grind. That game was an old game, so the mechanics weren't the greatest and everything. That game was a grind, and killing
Yeah.
Ares again was satisfying. I don't know. Whoever else
But-
played that, back me up.
I don't know. I feel like when people talk about God of War, everyone always brings up Zeus dying. Like, everyone brings up everything in God of War 3 and 2. I feel like God of War 1,
Looking back at it, I guess
it's
in that
the
moment,
least
it was-
memorable. And I also think it's the execution with Zeus's death. The fact that you just keep pummeling him, like, for however long you can. It's just, it was satisfying. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I agree.
Facts.
True.
Concur.
Say no more.
There's another one I wanna bring up. For anyone who's ever played the Batman series, I think a very memorable death is Joker.
Oh,
I feel like it's a very underrated one too. In what was it, Arkham City, right? Yeah, it's Arkham City. When
yeah,
the Joker dies.
first 5 minutes. Yeah.
I feel like that one is, people don't really talk about it as much, but I guess like if I say that, it doesn't make it memorable. But the fact that it's the Joker in any Batman media, this dude always lives, no matter what. This dude can be in an apartment that's about to blow up, and he'll walk away from it alive. So the fact that by the end of Arkham City, he's dead, it's pretty shocking.
What's the cause of his death? Poison or just like illness?
Remember that drug he took in Arkham Asylum.
Oh, to make him a big
Yeah, to make him kaiju Joker.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's what ended up. It was like killing him. It was pretty much poisoning him, and he was trying to like throughout the whole game. He's like trying to find a cure so he could keep living. But the fact that it's the Joker, the freaking Joker, the dude Batman lets live all the time. The fact that he died in the second game, it's pretty crazy that it happened.
Can I put a note on that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
So since you brought up the Joker, it actually triggered a memory. It wasn't a memorable death, but the death caused such a series of events to happen that it was a memorable game because of it. Do you guys remember Injustice?
Oh, I remember Injustice.
What Joker did, and then Superman?
What did
Oh,
Lois Lane?
Yeah, right?
He killed Lois Lane, or am I wrong?
Yeah,
he
and
killed
his
Lois
son.
Lane. He
And
killed
his
Lois Lane
son.
and his son.
That's
And he somehow nuked Metropolis at the same time.
Literally, yeah. That was probably one of the most fierest Jokers I've ever seen in a video game.
Definitely. I'd agree on that.
Like I said, Lois Lane's death wasn't memorable because we didn't even really get to see much of it. It was like comic book cutscenes.
Yeah.
But the aftermath of that death was just beautiful. I like that kind of alternate universe. That was amazing.
I actually forgot about the Injustice Joker.
Right?
I forgot that he died.
It's a sleeper.
It is. That's a sleeper one. Because Superman punches through his chest. Like, Superman lost his shit.
Yeah.
And punched through his chest to kill him. It was wild.
It was freaking wild. And I'll never forget, who did he? I think it was the Flash, right? Did he just melt him?
No, he killed Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah, he lasered his head.
Face.
But you know what's fucked up about it? Shazam is actually a 12-year-old kid who transforms into an adult superhero.
Yep.
So Superman has just murdered a child.
Yeah.
That was super fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that made it into the game.
Yeah. Thanks for triggering that memory. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that Superman was on one. You guys got any memorable ones?
Are you done with your list?
I can come back because I feel like a lot of us got similar ones.
Yeah.
So I could bounce off. So I got one that I'll save for later because this is a big one. You want to go next?
All right, I can go. The one that I really remember, the end of Borderlands 2, or the end of the main campaign, no DLC, where Handsome Jack, the person you've been trying to kill, you finally get him. You finally get him. And this dude, like, he's been known to be one of the like almost perfect villains because he had like his own story. And if you thought about it for a bit, like his point of view, it's like his intentions weren't the worst, but he was still like a bad guy, you can tell.
He was a psychopath.
Man was a psychopath because he thought the character you played as were the bandits, were the bad guys, and he thought he was the good guy the whole time. He never thought of himself as a villain or anything. He even had a place in the map called Opportunity, where he wanted people to live and thrive and stuff. And you go in there and you mess shit up. And at the end where you finally kill him, like the final boss that you have to kill, he thinks that that thing's invincible, I win, blah blah blah. But when you kill it, he just breaks down. He's like, no, this isn't how it's supposed to be. Man just has a complete mental breakdown.
What was that line he had? It was like, that line was super iconic. It was something like, you're the bad guys and I'm the goddamn hero.
Yeah, that one. And then you just end it. You literally shut him up. He's like, as he's yelling all of that stuff, the mission says, "Oh, kill Handsome Jack," and then you're just waiting for, like, you can kill him immediately. You could wait for him to finish yelling. You can do whatever, but if you listen to what he says, it's crazy. It's a super memorable death. The one that ends the game, obviously. But yeah, that's it for me. Borderlands 2, I played that game so many times.
Only on so many different consoles. I swear.
Beat it with every character on PlayStation, on PC. Yeah.
Did you
But
actually?
that death? Oh yeah, I beat it so many times.
The platform?
On PlayStation 3 is where I first got it. Then I got it on PC, and I have the Handsome Collection on PS4 now.
I think it was Handsome Jack's character that made him and his death really memorable, because he just had this charisma with him that, you know, not a lot of villains do. He wasn't your typical villain. You know, he was a jokester. He was smart mouth. He could go from, you know, this guy you could like chill and hang out with and have a bunch of like, you know, jokey conversations with, to this psychopathic dictator on the flip of a dime.
Yeah, and the funny thing in what is it, in the pre-sequel, I believe, you can play as Handsome Jack, and you see sort of the good side of him before he kind of gets all crazy. I think you see him get all crazy at the end of the game. I'm not sure.
I think it is when like he gets that thing punched in his face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when he gets all crazy. But that also shows you like the execution and the writing for a character adds to how memorable they, like, if they die, adds to how memorable their death is. Because like if Handsome Jack was written as some generic bad guy, right? Or
Generic bad guy number 3.
look, I'm gonna compare him to Zeus, because Zeus wasn't the best written character. Like, he was an asshole, you know. He was this guy you wanted to take down, but it was just the goal of taking him down that made his death memorable, and how you executed his death. His character wasn't the best written, but with Jack, it's how his character was written that made his death so memorable.
Yeah, I agree. Like, without all the buildup of his character and all the suspense that led to that final boss fight, and then just like seeing his reaction once you killed the thing that he thought was like sort of invincible, the thing that would just like be his trump card, like when he sees you kill that, then it just breaks down. And then everything that led up to him breaking down is like, yo, it's over, the game is over. You have that sort of feeling like we won type of thing, you know?
And you, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I didn't really hate Jack. Like,
It
I
took
kind
me
of,
a couple runs through the game, and then some other people's like opinions or like insight to like make me realize like, oh shoot, that's right. There's a lot more to him at first, because when the first time I played the game, I didn't really catch on to that stuff. But the more I played it, the more I realized like, oh shoot, that's kind of true still.
because he's not a villain I hate. He's a villain. He's more of a villain I hate that I like. You know, it's just how he was written, because he has some hilarious lines in Borderlands 2. And he was so good, they brought him back in AI form in Tales from the Borderlands.
In AI form.
Yeah, and
Did
he's
they-
great. He's great in that too. Did they what?
I don't remember that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but
No, I didn't hear what you said.
I said I don't remember that.
Tales from the Borderlands?
Yeah, Handsome Jack was in that.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
was he
was-
like a hologram?
Yeah. He was the AI in Reese's head.
Yeah, I remember.
That's how good his character was. They brought him back. And then they killed him again. You know, they killed his AI. He was already dead.
Of course.
Yeah. But he's great in that. That game is great too. Who wants to go next?
I got it. You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, going back to my favorite game, Assassin's Creed 2. All right, so I'm going to talk about how Ezio's family dies. That's a very memorable, like, death to me. Well, 3 deaths. So basically his dad dies. His dad and his 2 brothers die or get killed by, like, the antagonist, basically. That kind of starts the game off. First, you learn about Ezio's character. You get to meet his family. You get to meet his brothers, his sister, his mom, his dad. Do a couple missions. Do missions specifically for them. And then after that, you realize his dad got into some shit with like basically one of the antagonists in the game, and then they basically framed him for, I forget what it was, but they framed him for something bad, and you return to your home and your family's not there. You go to the jail cell. You go to the jail cell where the dad was, and then you speak to him. You said, "Oh, here, take these, and just give it to this guy, and he got us out. He'll get us out." You give it to him, you get betrayed, and then I think next day, you're like, everything should be good. You're walking, and you basically you see his dad and his two brothers. What's it called? They're being hung, and it tries to give you the feeling like you could stop them. So you're trying to like brush through the crowd, trying to get to them as quickly as possible, and then these two big guys pull up, and they hang your family, and it makes you feel like helpless, and then that's how it becomes a revenge story. I don't know if any of you guys seen it. I know some of you guys.
I've never seen anything from Assassin's Creed.
I played Assassin's Creed 1 and I've wanted to play more, and you just make me want to play that one now even more. And it sounds pretty goddamn, yeah, pretty shocking.
Yeah, it's basically like the first hour or two.
Yeah.
Should I keep going with some more
Yeah.
people getting killed? All right. I'm going to go to the next Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Yeah. You know Lucy?
Who?
Lucy. Desmond, Lucy.
Oh, Lucy, yeah.
Yeah. That shit was unexpected. So, if you don't know Desmond, Lucy, basically you're the main character is not even Ezio, kind of. The main character is Desmond. He's controlling Ezio within his memories. I guess that's the best way I could explain it. Yeah. So these are like current, like they're living in the current world, and then Ezio's like in the past, and like what year was that? I don't even know what year.
1400.
1400, yeah. So basically, they're trying to figure out ways to stop the Templars. So Lucy was from the first game, where she helped you escape this Abstergo. They're like some Templar agency, whatever.
The current Templars, yeah.
Yeah, the current Templars, like basically enemies. So she helps you escape from there, and you guys go through a whole journey. Then you start to make a relationship with her, sort of. Like it's kind of like hinted at it, like they could like get into a relationship. And then right when you grab the Apple of Eden, you lose control of yourself, and basically it forces you to kill Lucy. And like this is the goal they've been trying to attain for like 3 games and on their journey together, and they force you to kill her, and you can't do anything. You have to hit square. Yeah, so that was a really memorable death. And yeah, I don't know if Simi wants to add anything to that, like what his thoughts on it.
Yeah, for sure. The fact that you like start to figure out, or like it's hinting at that there's gonna be a relationship between wait, did you feel like there was a love affair between not affair, but a love
Love interest
between Desmond and Lucy?
just a little bit. I feel like it could have happened in the future.
Probably. That's what I thought the entire time.
Yeah.
But then yeah, that she dies.
Yeah, they force you to kill her.
Like what is it? He's holding the Apple of Eden, and then
Yeah, basically one of the god. I don't know. It was like gods.
Yeah, I think it's Athena in that game, or Minerva.
Minerva, yeah.
Yeah.
She's interfering with like balance or some shit. You have to kill her,
Yeah.
and then they control you.
Mhm.
and make you kill her.
I think the game went to shit after that. Like that whole
Yeah.
Desmond series.
Yeah, it kind of got weird. You want to go? Someone?
I could go.
You can go.
I just thought of one
Okay.
while you were talking. Y'all remember 2K16?
Oh my god.
Y'all remember NBA 2K16 story?
Bruh.
Let me
When the man pushed him down the stairs.
let me tell you right now. Victor Van Leer is one of the most memorable video game deaths of all time. You cannot tell
Outta
me.
here.
You cannot tell me you were expecting this to happen.
Definitely not in a
Most
basketball game.
unexpected.
Y'all went into this.
Rated E, bro.
Y'all went into this rated E for everyone basketball game, playing the story. You know, a Spike Lee joint, thinking, all right, this ain't gonna be, you know, nothing too serious. And then, bang! Right at the end of the story, your best friend dies in a car crash. Ain't nobody expected that shit. You can't tell me that is memorable as hell.
My God.
Yeah, the only death in a freaking sports game.
The
Most
2K
likely.
community still remembers.
Yeah.
And then they had, remember at the end, they had his ghost read out his own last words on the basketball court. Y'all remember that, right?
Yeah.
Bro, that shit hits differently, all right? When the boy frequency vibrations gets the phone call.
That was the main. Oh, I thought it was liquefied chocolate. What the?
What?
Oh, who's that?
What? That's a liquefied chocolate.
Wait, what is it? Frequency vibrations?
Yeah, frequency.
Yeah.
You don't remember
Freaking
them?
and vibing,
Freaking and vibing on the court.
Nah. Well, who was liquefied chocolate? That was someone.
There was nobody was named liquefied chocolate.
Bro, you probably talking about
Fucking bro.
the EA version. You probably talking about NBA Live.
You talking about NBA Live. I would remember the main character was liquefied chocolate.
Or soliquify or liquid, some shit like that.
But ain't no bro.
No one's liquid. You mean orange juice?
You're talking about
Orange juice.
You're talking about orange juice.
There you go.
You mean Prez? Yeah.
Yeah, present. What was it? Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
Justice Young,
Justice. Yeah.
trash ass basketball player.
Now it's Che. Someone get Che.
All right, but going back to 2K16, when Freak is on the phone with the police officer, who somehow turned into an assistant coach in the next game, and then in the games after that, he became a referee. I want a story about this dude. His career is gone all over the place. But when he was on the phone and he's like, put Vic on the phone. Put Vic on the phone right now. I want you to put Vic on the phone. That was memorable as hell.
For sure.
Yeah, it was definitely memorable. Well, I didn't really have a big connection with the men's, but I thought he was a crook, to be honest.
Bro, my guy was trying to start up a rap career. Boss Key Yacht.
Man,
Ah.
that guy was a
He was
waste,
spitting
man.
bars. He was spitting bars, man. Come on.
I don't think so. Search up anyone who's watching this or listening. Search up his bars.
He's
Tell me that
hating.
that's good.
He's hating, bro. You're hating. Better than half of these
Rated
black ass
E bars?
rappers
I don't
out
know,
here.
man.
Man's
Rated
a
E
most
bars? I don't know
SoundCloud
about
rapper.
that, NBA 2K.
he better than all the Lils.
Boss.
Well, yeah, that was memorable because ain't nobody thinking someone gonna die in a basketball
it was
game, man.
boss with $2. Key yachts.
Yeah, Boss Key
Plural.
Yacht.
Oh no.
He was about to start up his rap career.
2K16.
Are you about to
I'm
play
looking
it?
this up right now. I'm listening on my own audio.
Yeah, you need to play it in the video.
I could play a
No,
clip in
too.
the video. It's not.
You should.
I could do that. You know what? Yeah, yo, I'm gonna put the clip right here of Boss Key Yacht.
You see you.
Yo, what up?
Boss Key Yacht.
Let's go. Got that art for y'all, that real spit. They call me Boss Key Yacht. The Harlem take my pockets full of fat knots, making all the ladies drop. Paint me street corners green, my bank notes the color bill scene. Half man, half amazing. Call me Simmy out the demigod. Halo crown with the dollar sign, got a pulpit. A ghetto saint with grand designs, call me focus. Before the Boss Key Yachts, the streets is hopeless. I'm that Harlem saint painting pictures, making new kind of skill, banking up to 12 figures. They call me Boss Key Yachts, pockets full of fat knots, dust till dawn. Your boy makes the street pop, got it on lock. My don't stop, make it hot. Love it when the bunnies bounce when they on top. Boss Key Yacht, a yacht on the 7 seas, making waves till the world knows me. Boss Key Yacht, my pocket go deep. I dive in the heights, get up and then creep. I'm on my hustle and grind, I'm all about my money. No time for playing games when the game ain't funny.
Okay, yo, he's nice. What's his name?
Hey, he goes by the name Boss Key Yacht, yo. Boss Key Yacht puts game down on them bars, yo. I'm telling you. Hey, we record a nice mixtape. Hey, do a nice video, get some honeys up in there dancing. Hey, we could build a franchise around this, yo. Hey, I want us to do a deal, freak.
I mean, what you mean by us, Vic?
I mean us, as in you and me and you, putting some serious Skrilla behind this and put me on, man. I'm Boss Key Yacht.
What?
You heard me? I'm Boss Key Yacht. That's me.
That's you?
Yeah, 100.
Okay, you nice with it. What? Yeah. Wow, okay.
Thanks, man.
Boss Key Yacht.
And y'all tell me if he got bars. Y'all let me know. Y'all comment down below if Boss Key Yacht got bars.
I mean, we're not stating too many games, so you could have a link to all the deaths in the description, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put a link to all of them.
So yeah, just make a list of what we've said so far.
We probably should have said spoilers. But I mean,
I swear we did. No, we
it's
did.
Video.
We
did we say spoilers? I don't
yeah,
think we
you did. Yeah.
Maybe we did. I don't know. But this is video game deaths. If you clicking on this and come on, man.
You should. Yeah. It's a spoiler.
I'll put spoilers in the the title of the video, so people can't be upset. But yeah. Victor Van Leer.
Don't want to spoil that one for anyone playing
2K16.
I want everyone to go and download 2K16 just to play that story and see Victor Van Leer's death. Moving on, the next death I want to talk about is Sarah. I hope I'm right. From The Last of Us.
Yeah, it's Sarah.
The character's name.
Trust
It's
me.
Sarah, right? Yes. Sarah from The Last of Us. The first 20 minutes of the game, of The Last of Us game, we got a child being killed, an innocent child being gunned down. See, for me, I played this game well after it came out. I played the remastered, and even then, it took me a while to really start it and play it. You guys played it when it was on PS3. Why is this death so memorable?
Because the game is so for me, I didn't know who Sarah was, I didn't know who Joel was, obviously starting out the game. However, playing through the game, knowing how good the story is, knowing how good of a connection Joel and Ellie are having throughout the game, makes you, and there are a few like lines where you can tell that Joel is really withdrawing from treating Ellie like a daughter. Like, how do I say this? Or I'm trying to remember the exact scene, but there are many times where he tries not to treat Ellie like his daughter, because that's gonna trigger some memories of his or trigger her death. I think that's when it starts to get more her death becomes more impactful, the interactions that you have with Joel and Ellie. In the beginning, her dying, again, I don't know who she is, I don't know anything about her, but throughout the story you start to feel for Sarah, where her death becomes more meaningful through the relationship of Joel and Ellie, which is so good. that the writing of two other characters are making another character's death more meaningful. Like that's just the beauty of that game. Like that it was written so well. But yeah, for sure, Sarah is a memorable death. Like when you play the game, maybe even when you finish it.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I'm mentioning it because other people find it memorable. I've seen people cry like the moment it happens,
Well, I guess
but
if you're crying at a little girl dying, then yeah, that's sad.
but I mean, like for me, the death was sad, but it's not really something that sticks out to me. It wouldn't be on my like it wouldn't if I had a list. It wouldn't make the top of my list of most memorable video game deaths.
That makes sense because like you didn't really have a connection with that
Yeah.
character. It was the start of the game, but
Yeah, it
like
was
it
the
kind of
start of
set
the
off
game.
everything.
It did.
Exactly. See, like it set off the entire game.
Yeah, no, it was sad. I'm not saying it wasn't sad, but it's not gonna be my, top 10 most remembered video game deaths. Just because I didn't have time to make that connection, but I want to bring her up because that's one people really seem to remember and really seem to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
And while we're in the while we're talking about The Last of Us,
your favorite.
let's talk about
Maybe you shouldn't talk about it.
Well, we're mentioned most memorable video game deaths, and look, if you got people returning the game and cutting up the disc, how much more memorable can you be than The Last of Us Part 2, killing off Joel in the first 2 hours of the game? That's got to be one of the most memorable deaths, right? Even though the game came out this year, it's definitely going to be remembered.
It's up there. Yeah,
it's going to be up there. The problem is this death is memorable for all the wrong reasons. Just because of how bad the writing is.
Was like fifth time talking about this?
Yeah, here we go again.
100th time? Yeah. You know what? Yeah, we talked about it a lot.
But no one's heard it yet, and we've done
no one's heard it.
Podcasts.
no one's gonna hear about it. But basically, it was terrible. It was dumb. It was just one of the dumbest character deaths I've ever seen. Kill off the main character by, having him give away all of his information to a group of random people. His birth certificate, his social insurance, his ID, driver's license,
credit card,
all that shit, credit card, where he lives, where he sleeps.
Stuff in the postal code too, just in case.
He pretty much just put the gun in his mouth, or well, I should say the gun on his knee. And then they finish him off by playing Wii Sports mini golf on his head. I will put a link to that death because it's just so dumb. But it is definitely memorable because everyone hates it.
That game had the potential to have probably, in my list, the most memorable death or satisfying / memorable with Abby, but
Abby is the person who kills Joel, and you don't get to kill her at the end of the game. It's like if you don't get to kill Zeus at the end of God of War 3. But all right, let's move on from that. I just want to bring that up because it is up there. This is definitely one Savage or Nor will know, because I don't know. You don't like Halo Reach. I love Halo Reach, but you gotta admit, the death of the Noble Six Squad, that is memorable as hell.
No, because I don't remember it. I don't think I finished Halo Reach's story. I don't think I finished
you didn't finish it? Okay, well
No. I was more complaining about Halo Reach's online. Halo.
Okay.
Yeah, its gameplay. That's what triggered me, because it went from Halo 1, 2, and 3 being really lit to Halo 4 trying something, but it didn't work out.
Well, Halo 4 sucks. But so when I talk about Halo Reach with you, I talk about its story because that's what I played. I played its story.
No, I was
And-
talking about online this whole time.
And its story is really good because
Oh.
you have this whole squad with you, the Noble Squad, and throughout the whole game, it's a prequel to all the previous Halo games. So you kind of understand, like, okay, we know where this is gonna go because Master Chief is, he's meant to be the last Spartan, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of know where it's gonna go. But even then, the way all of these characters go out is amazing. You have them sacrificing their lives for the sake of the mission. Some of them are even shocking. I can't remember all their names. I played this in like 2011 one time.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
But one of the girls, you're just running across to like get to these elevators. You're with a bunch of civilians, and you're just having a conversation. You're talking with her while you're running. Discussing what's the next plan. And out of nowhere, she just gets shot in the head. Just
It's
out of
snipped,
nowhere.
eh?
Yeah, just sniped right in the head. And you just stop like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. God damn.
And it's deaths like that in the game. To me, it was so memorable because you really start to care about all the people on your team. And when they just get taken out one by one, it hurts seeing that.
Yeah.
Like, it really hurts. Even my boy Emil going out like a boss, he gets stabbed through the chest, and he's like, yo, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, and pulls one of the, what are they called, the Covenants? Is that what they're called, or am I thinking of someone else?
The Covenant.
Like, the aliens.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
aliens
that
that you
does
fight.
sound right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that does sound right.
Yeah. He takes one of them and pulls it with him while falling to the ground. So
it's pretty memorable, yeah.
And then the character you play, Noble Six, I think that was his name. Noble Six was his name. You go out like a boss. The odds are stacked against you. You know there's no chance of you winning this fight. You're surrounded by a horde of aliens, but even then, you still go out fighting. And all you see is that last shot where he puts his helmet down, and you're seeing the view through the helmet of him fighting a bunch of aliens. And even when they try and take him out, he is still putting up a fight. And, the last shot, he gets stabbed, and the camera cuts. It's years later, and you see Master Chief pull up. But for me, the death of Noble Squad it's so memorable, the way it's done.
I see.
Because it's just, it's shock factor, and I don't like shock factor in games, but in this, it just worked.
Speaking of Halo, then, for those Halo fans that are watching or listening to the podcast, I should say, Halo 3, the story between Master Chief and Cortana hits home. Everybody was invested in that story. It was just beautiful. Yeah. Good memories. Thanks for that. God damn, man. Halo. I miss Halo.
Who wants to go next? Like, anyone else got another memorable death they want to bring up?
Well, are you done with your list?
I got more, but I want to know if you guys got any, because I got a bunch more.
Yeah, I have yet to start on my list. Simi, do you have any?
Yeah. Definitely Soap McTavish's death in Modern Warfare 3 and Ghost, the character Ghost, in Modern Warfare 2. Those were in both the well, you play Soap in the first. Is it the first two games or just the first one? Anyone know?
Nope.
Manchetti?
Nope.
Okay then. So, anyways, I think you play Soap. Okay, I think you actually just play him in the first one, but you play him in the first one. He's also in the second one, but you don't play as him, I don't think. And then he dies in the third one in the beginning. So yeah, that's just memorable because like you're playing him throughout the series. Well, you play him for the entirety of the first game of Modern Warfare 1. Yeah, Modern Warfare 1. And then you see him again. So first you have a connection with him by playing him. Then he's in the story of the second one. So even then he's like you don't forget about him, like he's still there, and then bang, in the third one you find out. The third game is kind of non-linear, where like the end of the game kind of you see a bit of the end of the game in the beginning. So then Soap dies, and then they kind of do like a rewind, and then you find out that Makarov kills him, or Makarov's unit kills Soap, and then you play as Captain Price to kill Makarov. Anyways, that's not the point, but the fact that Soap dies in the third one, pretty sad. Like I didn't cry, but that got me. And Ghost, honestly, I didn't understand why this was so memorable, but I think Ghost was just a badass character in Modern Warfare 2, and then he just ends up dying. Like it's not even like his character was so good, like well written or anything. It was just he was a badass. Or I might be wrong, I don't know. But I know that he was a sick character. Well, I liked him, and the reason why it's memorable for me is because he was a badass. But for sure, Ghost and Soap in the Modern Warfare series.
Kind of like Boba Fett.
Yeah,
And-
exactly like Boba Fett. Like Boba Fett is like he has like no lines in the original, yet he's probably one of the most recognizable and popular characters in Star Wars. But yeah, exactly, kind of like Boba Fett.
Yeah. And it just shows, like, even if a character is written simply, as long as people have some form of connection with them, or connect with them in some way, even if they just like them because of how badass they are, it makes the death even more memorable.
He was just a popular character. That's it.
Yeah.
Popular doesn't necessarily mean like well written or.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Even if he wasn't well written, people liked him.
Right.
That's what made it really memorable. Because I hear people talk about that ending a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not. It's in the middle of the game, but.
Oh, it's in the middle? Not bad.
Yeah. Oh, and then the guy who kills Ghost is General Shepard, who ends up betraying. Like he's supposed to be the general of your unit. Turns out he is not. Well, he is, but he's like a.
Double
he's like-
agent.
Huh?
It's like a double agent.
Yeah. And then, do you play as Captain Price and then you kill him, or do you play as Soap?
I don't know. All I remember throwing the knife in his eye.
No matter. Wait, isn't it? No. Nah, I thought it was like wherever you aim the knife, no matter what, it would hit him. But no.
Yeah.
No. It wasn't in no. That didn't. It was in Modern Warfare
That was
1, Call of Duty, where you're sniping Zakhaev to shoot his arm off. You guys remember
the
that?
Modern
Right?
Warfare 2 where you
Yeah.
throw the knife in Rust, and then it literally just goes to a cutscene the second you throw it.
I don't think so. Because I purposely tried to miss, and you think he killed me.
Oh, oh shoot.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, the fact that you kill, anyways, yeah. So I think you kill him as either you're playing as Soap or Captain Price. Doesn't matter. Both those characters are also the most popular. The fact that you're playing one of them and then you kill General Shepard is also a memorable and a satisfying death.
Just
Killing
a fact check real quick. You do kill him as Soap.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Big fact check.
and you play Soap in the first game, so that's.
I always hear people talk about MW2's, Ghosts and killing Shepard as, one of the most memorable moments in gaming. That's definitely a good one to bring up. I want to bring up one real quick. This is another death that surprised me. Because it's not one I expect to happen. Aunt May's death in Spider-Man, the most recent Spider-Man, the PS4 one.
Isn't that?
Aunt May dying?
I don't remember.
Nah. I think for me it was more shocking that Aunt May died. It may not be the most memorable, but the fact that Aunt May even dies at all, because she's always the one who stays with Peter.
So Uncle Ben and May die?
Yeah, in that PS4 Spider-Man game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember, right? There's that whole what do you call it? That virus going around that makes everybody sick. and it turns out, Aunt May caught the virus. So now she's sick, and then Peter's faced with this choice. He could either cure his aunt, but that would lead to a lot of people in New York dying, or he could save the cure, but his aunt would die because she was already running out of time. And that whole scene is really emotional because Aunt May is the last thing that Peter has. Because it always hurt Peter how much he wasn't able to save Uncle Ben. And the fact that he wasn't able to save Aunt May, that made the scene really emotional. And to me, it was really memorable because I wasn't expecting it to happen.
Yeah, I don't remember much about that game.
I think I do remember that. She was in the bed. It was a scene, right? And she was like hooked up to everything. He was wearing his Spider-Man suit with the white symbol, and he was crying. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And he was trying, like, when he was wearing the mask, he was trying real hard not to
take it off,
not to be not just to take it off, but to be emotional. And then it turns out she always knew he was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be ringing a bell.
And that scene is.
I remember that. Yeah, and she said Uncle Ben would be very proud of you. All of that. Yeah.
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 And it's heartbreaking to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Peter go through that.
It was shocking, like you said, because Aunt May never died in any of the Spider-Man movies that they ever made.
Nope.
And in the comic books, I don't remember her dying. I remember her being in danger a bunch of times, but never dying.
And even if she died in, like, say, one of those alternate universe comic book storylines they have, she rarely ever dies.
Yeah.
So to kill her off in the PS4 game, it was just.
Yeah.
It was like the Joker. It was in Arkham. It's just unexpected.
Unexpected, yeah. Anyone else have any memorable deaths that they would like to talk about?
Yeah, I got one. I guess we can start with. I'm gonna go with Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
Oh, of course you do. Of course.
What was yours?
Of course, I have a list right in front of me.
Don't
worry, you're the first one to touch it, though.
Correct me if I say anything wrong. I don't remember too much about the game because it was a long time. But basically, you're John Marston. I think you're trying to kill your former gang members because they set you up or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So you do all that. Do you rescue your family?
I think the government's holding your family hostage, and they pretty much make John have to hunt down all of his former gang members.
Yeah.
In order for him to get his family back.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you do all that, kill them, I believe. You kill all of them?
Yeah, every single last one of them. Yes.
Yeah, all the remaining ones.
Every single one of them.
Javier, Bill, Dutch. Dutch kills himself.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you caused it, but yeah, he does.
Yes, yeah, you caused it, but he ends up killing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happens. You finally get your family back, and then who pulls up on you?
The marshals.
Marshals?
Yep.
And it was like at least 30, 50 of them.
It was like 50 mans.
50 mans deep, bro.
You get your family to escape, your wife and son?
No, they don't. They're in the ranch behind you.
Yeah, but they cut.
They're in the ranch.
Oh, yeah, they get on a horse and cut. Yes.
I think that's a bit later on, though.
I swear they see him get shot, then they cut.
Because what happened was, it was John and Uncle fighting a few of them, right? And then Uncle got shot.
Yep.
And Uncle dies. So then John takes his family into the barn with the horses. He has them get on the horses to get out of there.
Mm.
At least I'm pretty sure that's how it happened.
Then right after, was it right after?
It was right after to distract them from not going after them. He walks out solo dolo, opens the doors, takes a look at every single one of those mans, and it gives you the opportunity to take a few down with you. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
It's too
They
much.
give you the impression that you're about to drop 50
Yeah,
man.
I
Yeah.
really thought I was. Yes.
The game made you think you're about to solo a whole army of motherfuckers.
Like he
And-
couldn't get behind one bay of hay, like one thing of hay, or something, behind a wooden fence. What? Like one time? Stay inside the
Oh,
ranch.
man.
Close the door.
They
No.
hold him like
Uh,
he did everything they
oh
asked
my
him to
God,
do,
bro. Yeah.
and
yeah.
they hold this man. They still pulled up to his house to kill him.
I'm
Like,
sorry, Kyle. Correction. We did everything those fuckers asked. Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't just John. I was invested.
oh
They
man,
did us dirty.
it was
so
such a
memorable. It was
betrayal.
beautiful.
And yo, man was having a peaceful life because if you finish Red Dead 2, you play the epilogue with John. You see how he built the barn and how he made his home on
The
that
business.
ranch, right?
Yeah.
And then made his business. He was living such a peaceful life. He thought he finally escaped his past.
No.
Just to have these mans pull up and bring him back just to finish off a bunch of dirty work that he wants no part of, and then they come back just to tie up any loose ends. This dude got hold.
Yeah.
He didn't, yo.
Honestly, I think what spoke to me the most about that, though, wasn't just the death of John, but the corruption of the law force. Because we see that in our society, you know?
Man, fuck the police.
I mean, man's got to eat, so I don't want to say that, but, you know, to each his own. Man's got to eat, you know, and there are some good cops that do care about the community, but at the end of the day, I guarantee you sometimes a cop, when he's, you know, taking some junkie's, like, stash or something, he ain't handing it into evidence, that's for sure. Okay, I'm just saying.
Going back to John, though, what makes it more
Alright.
epic is he was not going out without a fight. Even when this dude was filled with bullets from like the waist up, his whole body was just filled with bullets. He was still standing. I mean, it did take him a while for him to, you know, drop over dead, but even then, he was still standing.
Yeah, after all the shots, yeah, he was still standing. Yeah, you're right. I mean, since we're on Red Dead 1, we have to combo Red Dead 2.
I don't want to talk about Red Dead 2 too much because these two haven't, Eman and Sumit, they haven't played it yet. I want to get...
That's unfair. That's unfair to the viewers. I'm sorry. Red Dead 2 has to be part of this.
It's because I love that game so much. I don't want to spoil it for them.
Y'all can go.
We could go? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, but just let me. I'm actually down to play that game one day. I don't know. Like I'll take my mic off, but let me know when you're done.
All right, you gotta take it off right now.
I know that. Just tell me when you're done.
All right. Okay, so Red Dead 2, Arthur Morgan, man, the greatest video game protagonist in my opinion.
One of the hardest niggas you'll ever come across.
His death broke me. I ain't gonna lie.
Yep.
His death broke me.
Yep.
And the reason why? The game tells you midway through that he's dying.
Yes.
Half of the game you're playing as a dying man. Because he got tuberculosis from a guy he beat up for just as he said for just a few dollars.
A few dollars. Yeah.
To me, what made it so memorable is the whole journey he went through after discovering he was dying. Because I felt like I was going through that journey with him of becoming a different person.
Yeah.
Or at least trying to be a better person before it all ends. Like I remember I kicked out that money dude, you know, who we were, you know, trying to shake people down for cash.
The old fella, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember kicking him out. I remember when I went to get people who had money, it was this couple. The woman was pregnant and he said, "Here, you can have her necklace. It's all we really have." to make money off of. I'm like, man, just keep it. I'm like, I'm dying anyway. I don't care about this no more.
It's nonsense. Yeah, it becomes such a minimal thing to you now.
It really does.
Yeah. Because at that point, you're starting to set the foundation for John. You're like, okay, I gotta set this for John.
And Arthur, he really tries to help John build
really
a better
does.
life. Because for Arthur, it's like, man, I spent my whole life doing what? You know, being loyal to something I'm not even sure I'm loyal to. He really tries to tell John, like, I want you to live your best life. Get out. Run away from all of this and live your best life with your wife and your kid. And that's, man, that's what made this death so good. Just that journey of self-discovery he went through. Remember that the family of the man you beat up who had tuberculosis?
Yeah.
How you helped them out, you know, you tried to
after, yeah.
Because what, the mother went into prostitution.
Yeah, because the guy's dead and the son went like, what did he do again?
The son was working in the mines where his dad got tuberculosis from.
Yeah.
So Arthur's like, I fucked this family over so bad.
Like, really bad. And even though you were trying to help them, I remember they refused it.
They refused it.
And then eventually you got enough cash for them to be like, okay, we could actually change our life with this.
And he said, like, I ain't doing this for thanks. I ain't doing it for charity. I ain't doing it for all that. And that's what made him so good. Because even when he was dying, he wasn't doing good stuff just to, you know, try and be. What am I trying to say? He wasn't doing it for forgiveness.
He was just doing it to be a better person in general. Yes.
And you know what? I think I said in the first podcast, I'm not sure, but I'll say it again. There were 4 times I cried in that game. The first time was when Charles and Arthur had a conversation about him dying. And Charles said, "You're one of the lucky ones. You know how it's going to end. You can do something. You can try and be better. The rest of us don't have that luxury. We don't know how it's going to end or when it's going to end for us."
Yeah.
That conversation they had, that was the first time I cried. The second time I cried, obviously, the horse.
Oh,
the second time I cried was the horse.
Don't start with
my horse getting shot, that hurt me too much. They made me name the horse and everything. I mentioned this in the first podcast. Go listen to it if you haven't already. But I mentioned it. My horse getting shot broke me because they made me name him. I named him Bojack. He got shot. And it would have been one thing if he got shot and they moved on. No. In the middle of a gunfight, they have Arthur go over to his horse, comfort the horse, tell the horse it'll be all right, and tell him thank you for everything. That was just too much. That was too much. The third time that I cried during the game, literally right after that, when John and Arthur have their final goodbye, he gives him his hat and his satchel, and he just pretty much sends him on his way to be with his family, to just live the life that I would assume he wished he had, or just at least to get away from all of this.
Yeah.
And then
it was too much.
And then the final time is when he's on the cliffside, he's looking at the sun, the music's playing.
Yeah.
And he passes away.
Yeah.
And even in the game, Charles says he went out how he wished he wanted. On the cliffside, looking at the rising sun, just passing away peacefully. That game's story is just perfect in every way.
Did you go back to his gravesite?
I still haven't. I'm still on the epilogue. So because I haven't finished. I want to take a break from the game since I grinded out the story so quick. So
I was too depressed, angry with that I didn't go back.
Yeah, when I get the chance, I am going to.
No, I'm just like never going back.
You're
ever.
Never going back.
I'm never going back. Bro.
I'm gonna go there. But yes, that death was. It's definitely one of the most Probably the most. It's up there. It has to be top 5 most memorable deaths of all time.
I mean, yeah, for sure. At least for us, you know.
At least for me.
At least for us.
It's second. There is another one I will mention very, very shortly. I just want to, I want to know if everyone else is gonna, or if everyone else has something they want to talk about.
I still have my list I would like to get out there.
All right.
Should I just go?
Yeah, you could go.
All right, let's bring back, who was it, Chetty or Samit?
They are both here.
Sure. Hi. Yeah, what?
All right, so the first one on my list is Shadow of War. So for those who don't know what that game is, it's like an alternate story to Lord of the Rings, or like an add-on, I guess. It's not really part of the main story. They made up their own thing. Your main character, it starts out with him chilling in like a castle with his wife and kid, and then they get stormed and they get captured. And as you were trying to escape, you were really close to escaping too, and like you were sneaking. You had your kid with you, and you were sneaking, and you were telling them to follow you quietly and everything. And they get captured, and their throats get slit right in front of you.
Don't know.
Yeah.
That game has actually it has everything to do with the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he wasn't really a part of that story.
I know it takes place before the Lord of the Rings.
A big part.
Really? I thought that wasn't canon.
It was 100% canon. It was how
really.
Yeah.
I am actually surprised. That even makes it better. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the ringmaker. He made all.
No, I know that is real, but like the other guy, the main character,
it's canon. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. Thanks for that. Yeah. Well, yeah, you literally just witnessed your wife and child get their throats slit right in front of you.
I did play that much of it, and that was really fucked up.
It was so fucked. And then your throat gets slashed. And that's like how the story starts. It's all about revenge.
Starts off like that, yeah.
It starts off like really raw and very beautiful. Now, the other part would be the first one was Shadow of Mordor, and then Shadow of War, the second one. After all that you went through, after all the revenge seeking, the army building, all of that training to get to the final boss fight, you find out that after everything has happened, that your soul literally just, was it his soul? No, he took one of the rings that enslaved the 9, right? It was 9 of them.
Yeah.
And he used it to survive long enough to fight more, and he ended up just turning into one of the bad guys because so much time has passed on.
Yeah, he turned into a Nazgul.
An Nazgul, yeah. The terminology isn't there for me. I played it like 3 years ago when it came out, but it was very memorable to me, because after all that, it's just like literally you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That literally hit hard for me.
He never died though.
Technically, I guess, like, to me the guy died because nothing of him was left. He became a Nazgul. Like, that's done.
I see what you did there.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything you play, that's actually facts. In Shadow of Mordor and War, everything you get to know. The main character's name is Talion, by the way.
Thank you. I forgot completely.
Nice. So, like, you play him. He's like a typical main character. You know, he's setting out to kill the villain. He has really good morals and everything, but then his entire character, although he doesn't die, his personality dies.
Yeah.
Which really stood out in the game. Which is why I think that's why Celebrimbor chose Talion.
Yeah, but at the same time he betrays you, right? In the second one. And that even hit harder because everything that you worked for literally stabbed you in the back. It was done. Second on my list was gonna be Red Dead, but we discussed that. That was done. I'm gonna go back a bit even more in time and say Dishonored. If anyone's played that game, the main character dies at the end, if I recall correctly. Doesn't he die?
No.
That seems like something that happened to me. I swear he died saving the little girl.
Corvo?
Yeah, Corvo dies.
No, he's in the second game.
He is?
You
Oh,
didn't
I
even
thought
play
he
the
was
second
dead.
game.
No, I didn't, because I thought he died in the first one. So I was like, "Fuck this game."
No, I'm talking about Sami. You didn't even play the second game.
And he's on the cover of the second game.
Oh,
He's a playable character in the second game.
I was about to say, like, I saw you haven't even opened it out of its package.
I don't need to play that game to know he's alive. He never died.
Really? I swear I remember him dying. I guess, yeah. Well, that would have been memorable to me. Something like that happened. I don't remember why though.
Yeah, I don't know. Empress Caldwin dies.
Ah, okay. Maybe I had that confused.
Little girl's mother.
Hmm.
That's early on in the game. And then you get framed for her murder, and then you're basically...
Yeah, that. And then I swear when you were finally reunited with Emily, isn't it?
Yeah, Emily Caldwin.
Yeah, you die.
Well, maybe there's a... because if you... the ending depends on how you play the game. If you kill a lot of people, it has a dark ending. If you leave a lot of people alive, I'm not sure if in the dark ending you die. I don't know, maybe. But canon-wise, like continuing into the second game, he doesn't die.
Oh, okay. So what I got confused was Emily standing over his grave. I thought that meant he died. He stood over his grave and put flowers on it. I do recall that.
Corvo's?
Yes.
That might have been just like a dark ending.
Yeah, that's
kill.
what I remember, and that hurt. That hurt because I thought Corvo was lit. He was a badass. You know, everything was literally just to get your honor back and to reunite yourself with Emily and save her. And I guess I thought he died. That's why it stuck with me. My next one on the list would be Far Cry 3 when Voss died. That hit me too. Voss carried the game. Yes, I knew we were gonna have a fight to the death. It just still hit me though, you know. Voss was a badass character. He was lit.
I think Voss was a badass. He definitely was a badass character, but I'm not sure if his death is really one of the most memorable ones. I mean, yeah, for you, it's memorable, but I don't know. I think I'm not sure if I would put it up with the games we've mentioned.
Fair enough. Here's a game that no one's played though, Gears of War. Starting from Gears of War 1, there's a character named Dom. And finally in Gears of War 3, after 2 games of just killing shit with him, man dies to save the squad.
I've seen his death a lot. Dominic's.
Dominic's death was pretty fucking hardcore. And that's pretty much it for my list, really.
All right. E-Man, you have one?
Well, I think it's time to move into The Walking Dead. That's the last one I got.
I guess save the best for last, right? Oh man, how many? That game is filled with memorable deaths. If we're gonna be honest.
Was it in Carver? What was that? Carver, Larry, Carly, Duck, Katja. Pretty much every character in The Walking Dead has a memorable death. But we gotta talk about the death. The biggest, most impactful, most memorable, tugs at your heart, fucking breaks you down death. Our boy Lee. It was sad. And that decision, that was a tough decision.
I don't know what else to say. That has been said. That death gets me, man.
You know what we could talk about? What
What?
did you end up
What?
doing? Did you kill him or did you let him like he was gonna
Well,
die?
let's talk about it. Like, let's get into that after. Like, we'll get into that. But pretty much, Lee is the main character of Telltale's The Walking Dead series. After being arrested, he's on his way to prison for murder, and then, oops, the apocalypse happens. Zombies start roaming the streets. Start turning people into one of them. He ends up finding this little girl named Clementine, and her parents are away. It's assumed dead off the first episode. Like, it's assumed that her parents are dead off the first episode. So Lee takes it upon himself to watch over this little girl as her protector. It reaches to a point where a series of events happens. I don't want to go into the whole thing. That a whole recap of it would take too long. But at the end of the 4th episode, Clementine's gone missing. A stranger has kidnapped her. Lee goes outside, reaches down to grab her hat, and a walker ends up biting him. And that's pretty much it for him. Once you're bit, you become a walker, unless you cut it off in time before the infection spreads. But for Lee, he had no time. Clementine's gone missing. They're not really in a place with a bunch of medical supplies, so he's knocking on death's door. He's a dead man walking throughout the entirety of episode 5. He is the Walking Dead. But even then, he still takes it upon himself to find this little girl, to find the girl he thinks of as his daughter. And then you end up rescuing her from that stranger. You could kill him, or she shoots him in the head. They both try to escape, but it's useless. Lee's dying. There isn't much to do. So you're left with 2 options. Let him turn into a walker or kill him. Both the choices are some bullshit. Because either way, this ending is sad as fuck. I mean, what did you guys do? Because this...
I played it with you, I think. Or like, you watched me play it the second time.
I watched you play it the second time, but do you remember what you did the first time?
First time was on PS Vita. What did I do? I think I left him.
You let him turn.
Yeah, I left him and let him turn. I didn't want her to like finish that. I felt bad for the little, like, that's like her best friend, almost father figure kind of thing. I didn't want her to do that. But my decision was to first time was to leave her or leave him. I didn't want her to experience killing off her best friend / like father figure. And I let him turn. He was handcuffed, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he was handcuffed.
You would just been there.
Yeah.
That's a tough decision because you're just leaving him, and he's like, you don't even know if he's suffering or not. That's the thing. But I didn't want her to shoot him.
All right.
Anyone else choose? Sumi, you play it?
Sumi, you played it, right? What'd you do?
I shot the guy. Put him out of his misery. Straight up, I shot him.
Cold-blooded.
I know, man saying it so nonchalantly. I shot him. It was too easy.
Not that I didn't do what I just said I did, but this is what I did. I saved the game before having to make that choice. I chose to, I left him, hoping that maybe some last-minute miracle was going to happen. Someone came running in with the antidote. I don't know what I was thinking.
Someone got burst through the door. I found the cure for zombies.
I don't know what I was hoping for. I don't know who was gonna come. I don't know, man. I don't know what I was hoping for. But all I know is that I saved the game before, hoping that he was gonna get saved. I don't know how that was gonna happen, but turns out nothing happened. So then I went back and I just shot him, so that he doesn't suffer. Cause yeah, but when I played that, holy shit! Like, I didn't expect this game to be what it was. Nobody recommended this game. Nothing. I remember I had no internet at home, like in real life. I had no like Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi wasn't working. I'm like, okay, what to play? What to play? I play this. I got hooked onto the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, like episodes, and then at the end he dies like that. That actually caught me off guard. Like, would you say, like, kind of going off topic here, but would you say like each episode got better and better? For personally for you guys,
I would still say episode 4 is the weakest one.
weekend.
Yeah, except for the ending. The ending was very shocking. When he gets bit. But I do think it was probably the weakest one. If I'm ordering it, I go 5, 3, 2. No, 2, 3, 1, 4. If I'm going best to worst. But like I would personally say all the episodes are strong individually. But that was the first video game that made me cry, because that ending, the emotional goodbye between Lee and Clementine was just too much, man. It was just too much to go through.
Wait,
And
what'd you do? You let them? I forgot what you guys said.
I shot him because I didn't want to leave him as a friggin' walker.
For
You know?
someone to kill.
Yeah, for some other random person to just pull up and put a bullet in him, I'm like, no. If anyone's got to do this, it has to be Clementine. She needs to be the one to put an end to Lee. But even then, that was too much, because they had this relationship between the two. And I know one of Telltale's fears was that people would not like Clementine. That did not happen. They were way off, because people love her, and they love her and Lee together, because they were so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could say it was like friends or guardian or, father-daughter, whatever it was. You can't lie, it's probably the strongest character relationship in gaming. And when you're choosing those last line of dialogues for him, like, you're leaving her with the last bit of advice. I told her to keep her hair short.
I did that too.
When you tell her that you'll miss her, and then Clementine says, "Me too." And when she holding the gun up to his head, that broke me, because that was the first time, really. Well, okay, when did this came out? What, 2011 or 2010? I can't remember when it came out. I guess it would be the second time. This was the second time that I experienced a main character dying, because whenever I watch or play something, I'm like, well, as a kid, I should say, I was like, well, you're the main character. You can't die. The story needs you. So, and I did play Halo Reach. I might have played it before that. But even then, the main character, Noble Six, he was whatever. He didn't really have the strongest character writing going on for him. But with Lee, that is one of the strongest characters. Because you're choosing everything he does. You're choosing everything he says. So that makes you feel even more connected with him. And you definitely feel connected with Clementine, because you're trying to protect her from this fucked up world she's living in. But then at the same time, you're also trying to teach her what she needs to do. And the fact that you die in the first season and you're not going to be there for her anymore as Lee, it was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to watch. I don't know. I couldn't bring myself to do that, like killing him, but that was probably the better choice. But I guess it never came back to haunt us in the future games.
There is no better choice with that.
Yeah.
There is no good choice and there is no bad choice. Either way, he's gonna die. It's just, how do you want him to die?
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, what would you say give me your top, like personally for you, your most memorable character death, like video game death.
Let me think about
Do it.
What?
What?
The fuck you talking about?
Oh no. Steve from Minecraft when he falls into the void.
What the fuck?
Huh? That happened.
You on your shit right now? I swear.
Is that vanilla Minecraft?
Ain't nothing memorable about that.
Yep.
Chetty, what's your? I guess Chetty only has one.
Yeah. I mean, you could say another one in Borderlands 2 is when Roland gets shot. He wasn't the main character or anything, but you could tell he's like the leader and stuff. And then you wouldn't expect for him to just like die and stuff. It's like, oh, shoot, who's taking charge now? Like,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
I remember that one. He was one of the people with Handsome Jack in the pre-sequel, wasn't he? Or am I wrong?
In the pre-sequel, I don't remember if he was too much in that story or not.
He might have showed up at the end.
I saw in Borderlands 1, he was a playable character, and then in Borderlands 2, he was like the leader of the resistance or whatever. The Crimson Raiders, fam.
I think
Yeah,
I'm almost done that game.
Yeah, that was kind of memorable. And then you think he comes back, and then it's Handsome Jack trolling you. That's the... Oh, man. Dude. I remember that. You think, like, you see on the dialogue, it's Roland's face talking. I was like, wait, what? We're gonna go out for Sundays? What do you mean? And then it's Handsome Jack like, I'm joking. I jammed his walkie-talkie.
Handsome Jack, Master Troll. And yet he's still an amazing character. And he's just awesome. And
Yeah,
you hate
that's
that you
what I
love
mean.
him. Alright.
He really made the game story like memorable.
Yeah, he elevated it. Definitely. Noor, what would you say is your most memorable one, like top of your list?
That's a difficult one. Personally, I liked the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War story. I just enjoyed the whole game as a whole. Like, the story mode was beautiful to me, and every death scene in there was very memorable to me. And Red Dead 2, of course, and even Red Dead 1. Like, those two games had the best death scenes I've ever seen.
Sumi,
Mm-hmm.
what about you?
Ezio's family for sure, 100%. That one, I remember at its time. It really it made me feel some ways. I don't think I've ever cried in a video game for a video game, but if anything's coming close, it was that. Because it's like Eman said, like you start off the game doing simple missions for like this family or for your family, and then yeah, they just die or they get betrayed. Not only do they die, like they get betrayed. That's what makes it memorable for me. But the fact that they get betrayed, like this guy's a rat, he's a snake. You think he's trying to help you? Nah. Turns out he's using whatever. I think it was what was it, man? You have to give in a paper or something.
Some documents
Yeah.
that proved that he was innocent.
Mm-hmm. But then what? He didn't show that. Like he acted as if he didn't have that.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know anything about documents.
Yo, that made me mad. That actually pissed me
You
off.
literally handed it to him.
Like you gave it to him, and then he's like, "Nope, I don't have it." Fucking rat. And then yeah, you get betrayed, and it wasn't like one of those stories where you're trying to figure out who gets betrayed, or like you're trying to figure out who betrays you. Sorry, like it's pretty well, you know very much who betrays you. And the fact that was he there when your family gets hanged?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Well, that same guy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was okay, yeah.
That's salt in the wound, it sounds like.
Literally. But yeah, Ezio's family for sure. That was the most memorable death in a video game.
For me, it's Well, it's like a tie. Like Ezio's, like if you ask me like a year, like next year, I'd probably say either Ezio's Family or League from the Walking Dead. That's the first thing that's popping up into my mind. If you ask me who was the most memorable, like I don't think I'll ever forget about them. Those two scenes.
For me, Victor Van Leer. Yeah.
I'll
Is
never
that-
forget about that one either.
Victor Van Leer.
Victor. Oh man.
Top 10 most shocking. No, I mean it was shocking, but no, it's Lee. It's Lee, and it's not even close. There are some in Red Dead 2 that really did affect me, but Lee it just hits differently, man.
I have
That
to
whole
play
that whole game plays differently. It's just it's a trip to go through.
Saying I really need to play this game. You guys talk about it a lot.
It's amazing. The first season is one of the greatest games of all time.
Really?
Yes, without a doubt.
For sure.
What if I play it and I don't like it?
And
What
we
if
just
you guys
can't. We
You're
can't
on the
speak.
next podcast.
You're not in the next podcast. You're
Friendship
not allowed
over.
back. You're not allowed back.
Friendship over.
You're being released.
Jeez.
I won't take
The
it.
agency, eh?
Go into free agent. Start your own podcast.
God damn. No, but like you guys do mention that game a lot, and it's getting my curiosity intrigued.
It's great.
I'm not gonna take it personal if you don't like it, but just know that you're smoking hard crack if you're not.
All
Liking
right. No, it's just like it's rare that I hear such great things about a game and then I play it and it's like, yeah, I agree. It's just rare for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing and you don't like it, just know you're not being invited back into PlayStation parties. No more podcasts for you.
Friendship over.
I'm deleting
End
your
of
number.
Deleting you as a friend off of PlayStation.
Jeez.
And blocked.
It's gonna be a purge.
Jeez. Lock my door, right?
Yeah, I know where you live.
God damn.
Oh man. All right. So that'll do it for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed us talking about the most memorable video game deaths in gaming. If you have any video game deaths that were memorable to you, comment down below. Let us know what they are. Leave a like to the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Make sure you share. Follow us on social media. It'll be down in the description below, as well as a link to all the video game deaths that we talked about. I'll put video links to them as well. And we'll see you next time when we talk about the greatest video game sequels of all time.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Laters.
What was that outro?
Alligators.
What was that outro? Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
What the
I'm
fuck
joking.
was that?
Bye. Have a good time.
See you next time, ladies and gentlemen.